How did you originally start rapping? At what point did you I'm really going to do this and I'm actually going to take it seriously?
I mean, I fell in love with rap approaching ciphers, like in my neighborhood, preparing rhymes up in the crib in the projects, and going downstairs and rhyming in ciphers and rocking out. You know what I mean? Like that's where the passion and love for rhyming came. Then I went up in the studio and heard myself for the first time back over a beat and started learning like punches and ad libs and doubles and hypes and just all the little things that go into recording, and then listen back to that and just being like, oh, this sounds ill. And then all of the like real life stuff that was happening alongside it, with me losing like friends and to jail, to gunplay, me being tired of my surroundings and me just being tired of the way I was living and deciding to like just pursue it like hard, like as like a passion and a possible escape route. That's what like really kept me in there. And yeah. So the love of music first, and then like the tired, nervous, like damn, don't want to live like this no more shit too.
Like how old were you when you actually said, I'm going to be a full-time rapper, I'm not going to have no other jobs, that I'm going to take seriously. I am a full-time rapper.
I would say 18. I would say 18. I had quit. I worked at UPS for a week. I quit. Like I went into the street and the booth and like slowly saw myself like shedding the street and favoring the booth longer. But I already knew like it was. I had gave myself like the ultimatum, like, are you going to be full-time street guy or are you going to like pursue music? So many people think you're talented, getting such good feedback. I had, a manager that's still with me to this day, Dennis, that wouldn't take no for an answer. And I think that played a large part in me like getting record deals instead of like prison time. Yeah, I knew around like 18, maybe 19 that I wanted to do it, that I was good enough or headed in the right direction enough to succeed in it.
And how long after that did you actually get a real break to the point where it's like, okay, like now I got money coming in or the potential for real money to start coming in and so forth?
Real money can be defined in so many different ways.
Yeah. Right, but I'm saying like, you're actually making an income off what you're doing. It's no longer just a hobby.
Oh yeah, that's later. That's much later. There's a bum period there. There's like down, no money, nothing's coming in. How much for this mixtape cover? Damn. All right, let me figure it out. Okay, standing in front of the spot. Hey, K Slay, man, got a joint, man. Like, we play it. No, yo, I heard you like Remy Martin. Here's a bottle of Rem, like, super grind, no money coming in for like 5 joints, like maybe even a longer time, like just mixtape, like, super nothing in my jeans type life, but not even really caring, like feeling crazy that everybody's like, yo, this shit is hard, like, but yeah, first like. The first time I really got a check was 07. Was 2007, and I would say I started loving it 99, 2000, where I was just like, this is what I'm gonna do. So like, yeah, it's like 7 years later, record deal. After like.
That was the Aftermath deal?
Aftermath, yeah, that was the first time. And then Koch at the same time. I had 2 record deals. One on a major, one on an indie, same time. So I was fucking around.
If you look at that early time working with Dr. Dre, and depending on who you talk to, I think most people would say this is the greatest hip hop producer of all time. Like, what did you really take away from those sessions and working with him in terms of improving your craft?
Well, Dr. Dre, yeah, he's got a vote for me too as one of the best producers of all time too, and just a stand-up guy and a good good dude, and I thank him to this very day that he gave me my first major record deal. Working alongside him is special, and that's an understatement. It's a blessing to be around someone who is as passionate, as talented, and as celebrated as Dr. Dre. I wish, even to this day, that I stuck around a little longer. You know, the reasons that I parted ways with Aftermath had nothing to do with music. It was more internal business shit, which is the shit I hate about, you know, the music industry. You know, there was someone there as a part of my team early on that, you know, kind of heavily influenced that decision of mine to part ways, and it had nothing to do with music. But God has a funny way of bringing you back around people you're supposed to be around. And when Slaughterhouse went up to Shady, I was right back in the family. So, you know, I bumped into Dre at the Grammys, and he was just like, you know, see what I'm talking about, bro? Like, this is what real talent do. You couldn't shake me if you wanted to. You get what I'm saying? So the world has a funny way of working itself out. And here I am today, sitting next to someone else I put atop that producer list, the gentleman that everyone knows as Illmind, and I just did an incredible project alongside him called Human, and people are saying it's everything but the title. So we're happy that you know, we're making the music that we want to make, and people love it, and it's just crazy.
Now, Ill, didn't you work with Dr. Dre also?
I did, yep.
Okay, how did that come together?
Well, the first time I actually had cut records with Dre was back in 2008 or 2009. That was around the time that I was dealing with Shaw Money XL and doing a lot of work with G Unit. So along the way, I met this cat named Brandon, who at the time was an A&R for Dre at Aftermath. So, you know, that was sort of like the first time working with Dre and submitting records, and Dre actually purchasing records from me and cutting records and stuff like that. But then more recently, you know, I spent some time last year going back and forth between New York and LA, just getting in the studio with those guys. Shout to my man Taheem Cannon, the, you know, now current A&R for Dre, and my man Focus, who's an in-house producer for Dre as well. Those guys just embraced me, man, and you know, a lot of the guys working in and around Dre are good friends of mine and peers and producers and writers that I also very much respect. So spent some time last year in the studio and cut some records with those guys as well. So you know, that's sort of my experience with Dre.
So Dre bought how many beats from you?
I don't want to say there's a number of beats he bought, but there's records that we cut, there's records that I produced that he referenced. You know, I'm sort of out of the loop in terms of like what is actually being used or not. So I don't really have a number.
Okay, so is he buying the beats off you, or is it just kind of like this is work in progress and it may get used, it may not get used?
Yeah, most of it is work in progress.
Okay, I understand. So how many times have you actually been in the studio with Dre working on beats?
I want to say probably like 3 times last year, over the course of like 3 months. And shout to Dre too for coming out to my my showcase too. That was definitely a night I'll never forget. I threw this showcase last year in LA. This past October, the live producer showcase, kind of similar to the one that I did with Kanye. So I had this idea of like doing my own producer showcase. So I did it in LA, and I had, you know, DJ Khalil come through, Focus come through, Cardiac, Symbolic One, all these guys that also worked with Dre. And my man Taheem helped me put it together. And Dre came to the actual showcase. This was at Dragonfly in LA, and he came through and showed love, and that meant a lot to me. So shout to Dre for the good look.
No doubt. Now, what is it about Dre in the studio that's different than other producers that you've seen?
Just from my experience, man, he's just, his ears are impeccable. I mean, the guy is so good at hearing things that you don't hear. You know, picking things out and knowing where to move certain drum sounds and trying different textures on the beats and stuff like that. I mean, he's just a master producer, and it's not even, people have this like misconception that like a producer is like the guy that like hits the pads and plays the piano all day and makes the actual beats, but like Dre is just a mastermind music creator. Every little decision he makes, I mean, he knows what he wants, and it's Dre. You know, he's got access to basically the best in the world. So, you know, it's just an honor to even say that I've been in the same room with him on that kind of level.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard like producers would bring beats to Dre that were like okay, and Dre would turn them into some incredible shit.
Absolutely. I mean, he knows what he wants, and he knows how to take a good idea and make it great. And you know, that's why he's Dre. So.
I'm me. So I'm gonna always, you know, give my opinion on things. And you know, I saw Lauren London come out at the BET Awards, and she was like, she had gained a little weight. So I said, yo, Lauren London left her waist trainer at home. Ha ha ha.
I was a big lean drinker, like heavy on lean, you feel me? Like, I'll drink a 6 or pour a 4 in a 20 ounce or drink a 8, a 10, a 12 in one day. That's the type of shit I did.
How young were you when you first started?
Like, when I first started drinking lean, like 15.